I wasn't fully prepared. Yeah, that's about all the time you have.
Okay.
Are you ready? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show. I'm D. Lake for Prez, David Lake, reporting for themediaspeaks.com, and I'm joined this morning by Kyle Phillips. Kyle.
How you doing today, D-Lake? Glad to be on. Hey there, friends.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Let's take a look at Kyle there. His Valentine's Day presents and his awesome new T-shirt and everything that's cool about his setup.
I'm just a cool guy. I love this. Since you mentioned it, my booze bouquet my girlfriend made me for Valentine's Day. It's got all my favorites: Maker's Mark, Jack Daniels, Fireball. What's your favorite liquor, D-Lake? That's awesome. What's your favorite liquor, D-Lake, out of the things on this booze bouquet?
I think he normally drinks Zima.
D-Lake's a Zima guy. Something funky's going on. D-Lake's like a robot.
Yeah, I was messing with my audio. I was trying to have cool intro music, but you know what? Just forget it. But I was trying to set up my audio to play a video, but we're going to get to that in a second. First, let's welcome to the show Sam I.B. DeGangi, Sam of the Correct Views. And
Greetings, unsettled souls. Welcome to the Saturday edition.
So excellent, Sam. I love your intros. Today, right now, right away, immediately, let me go to screen share. We have top breaking news. There was this guy in Denmark was targeted for drawing cartoons of Mohammed. You guys remember the Charlie Hebdo attacks?
Well, when you had first told me of this deal, like I remember thinking, and I've said this on prior shows on my uploads as well, that the reason people don't want Islam in their country isn't because people are routinely prejudiced against the brown man, or that anybody has these innate hatreds towards other religions that are not their own. The trouble is, kind of like the crap has risen to the top in America with Obama and Hillary and McCain and the monsters we have running us. That's why people don't like Americans. It's not because we're white. It's not because we listen to Kesha, although it should be. It's because we tend to have really crappy people come to the forefront of leadership, at least ever since Reagan has died. You could argue even before that. With Islam, you tend to get some people that rise to the top that have a problem with these kinds of things. And it's these kind of Islamists that I think the average person has a problem with. Christians are always getting things hurled at them. Videos always have inverted crosses. Jews get picked on all the time. You know what? We're used to it. This stuff comes up, and I don't mean to go on and on, but it's like such a war nerve with me. This is why people dread Islam. Right here.
Well, Sam,
I think Sam's bringing up a really good point, which is why is it that in Islam essentially, for lack of a more intelligent way of saying it, can't take a joke where every other religion can. I mean, I see people with Darwin
it's important that we say the leaders too. Not like the trouble with Americans is they always want something free. No, the trouble with many Americans that end up in leadership, that kind of thing.
But the question really is, like, why is it this religion, and specifically this religion in a certain part of the world? Because Muslims in America don't act this way. Muslims in America have become much more dormant in the way that Christians and Jews have in Western civilization. Because, I mean, if you look back in history, Jews and Christians were just as bad. The Christians had some dark times in their history as well, but they've really acclimated to the rest of society, acclimated to democracy, where Middle Eastern Islamicism has not. And the question really is, how do we get them kind of normalize like the rest of society has, and like, and I can't stress enough, like Islamic people in the Western world, specifically America. In America, Islamic people aren't it's like night and day. They're a totally different breed of the same religion. And why is that? Does it have to do with our culture? Does it have to do with, I don't know.
To my knowledge, there are Muslim Americans that are people of the Muslim faith that are Americans that they do denounce, ISIS parading the Kurds through.
Yeah, I would say the vast majority.
Guys, before we get too philosophical here, today's breaking top news: attack on Mohammed, cartoonist in Denmark. Kyle's right. Maybe they can't take a joke. Shots fired at Copenhagen cafe during debate on Islam and free speech. 1 dead, 3 wounded. Suspects are on the loose. 1 dead in Denmark attack. An artist who drew Muhammad. Okay, like 7 years ago, he drew some cartoons of Muhammad, and now some sort of crazy assassins in Denmark want him dead. At least 1 person is dead and others wounded following a shooting at a freedom of speech meeting in Copenhagen, Denmark. According to reports, police on the scene regard this attack as an assassination attempt on Lars Vilks. Lars Vilks. Lars Vilks is a cartoonist.
Ridiculous. Absolutely. We're dealing. And did you notice where you said that was at, my friend? Denmark. Let's think off the top of our head. King Diamond. I'm a fan personally, but the man has made a million stabs, so to speak, at Christianity, and yet the Christians in Denmark are like, all right, we're going to King Diamond, that's his right to speak. Here you have something going after Islam, and all of a sudden the world is up in arms. And again, I'm not talking crap on King Diamond. I actually like the man. The point is, it's this ongoing problem that we always see with someone drawing Mohammed. And maybe it's not politically correct to say it. The West doesn't give a damn about who draws Mohammed. You're not supposed to say it, but there it is.
No, and if Western Christians acted the same way, everybody with a Darwin fish magnet on the back of their car would be getting shot up, and that's just not the case.
Exactly.
So I mean, I urge everybody to go listen to. There's a guy who's writing a book called The Atheist Muslim. He was recently on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he really, really dives into this. The guy grew up in Saudi Arabia, and he really puts it into perspective, like that. I used to be of the mindset that like this isn't an Islamic problem. It's a problem of us fucking around in the Middle East and causing spiteful people and causing people to want to get revenge, and that fits the narrative up until stuff like this, because something like this really has nothing to do with the war in the Middle East. It really has nothing to do with U.S. military foreign aggression. This is just like outright extremism. There's no other way to look at it.
It sounds like the audio is getting miffed by me every time Drudge tries to refresh. But Kyle, it's funny, right when you said mindset, I was looking at the word mindset in this quote. Unfortunately, there are people who react with violence when their entrenched mindset meets with the free debate of freedom and freedom of speech. Jensen wrote on his Facebook page, "We must stand firm on the values of our society is built on and never give in to fear." I mean, Kyle, I don't know, Kyle, how do you feel about those comments?
It's tough because you got to look at it in the perspective of other things and in the perspective of the big picture. And would we be saying, like that guy, what was his name, the one with the BMW who couldn't get laid and went and shot a ton of people in California?
The Santa Barbara shooter.
Yeah, would we say the answer to make sure there's less Santa Barbara shooters is to furthermore isolate people who are socially inept? No, we wouldn't say that, right? But then when it comes to Islam, we say the answer is to keep pushing. So I don't know, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I mean, it's completely unacceptable, no matter how you break it down, to kill somebody over drawing a cartoon. There's no other way to look at it, and it is...
Well, Kyle, after Islamist militants attacked the Charlie Hebdo satirical magazine in Paris last month, killing 12 people, Vilks told the Associated Press that even fewer organizations were inviting him to give lectures over increased security concerns. And also in today's news, we're going to get to this newest video by the American TSA. But I mean, Vilk said he thought Sweden's SAPO security service, which deploys bodyguards to protect him, would step up the security around him. Quote, "This will create fear among people on a whole different level than we're used to," he said. Charlie Hebdo was a small oasis. Not many dared to do what they did. When he says not many dared to do what they did, they mean drawing pictures of Muhammad. Do you find drawing caricatures and cartoons of Muhammad offensive, Kyle and Sam? Sam, what do you think? Does that fall under freedom of speech? Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
I was talking about the robo out, so I muted out. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's a cartoon, and it's hard for me to say because I'm not an Islamist person. I am not a Muslim, but like looking at it as other things that I believe strongly in, parts of my ideology. If somebody wants to draw it, it's like it's hard to see it as any other way, but it's a fucking cartoon. Like, it's a cartoon drawing of something. Anybody, a 10-year-old could draw Mohammed. Are you gonna go kill some 10-year-old who doesn't know any better? Like,
well, see, it has actually happened to me. I can point to there's a video. I forget what the name of the song is, thankfully, but there's a deicide song, and the entire video is a character of Jesus Christ being chased by the band before they finally chop him up and kill him. You know what? It never crossed my mind to kill Glenn Benton. You know what? I hope nobody listening to this kills Glenn Benton. You can send him a text that says, "Hey, you're an asshole." I'll be in favor of that. "Hey, you're an idiot." You know what? It's fine. But this notion that somebody would go and kill Glenn Benton because he made what I consider to be a distasteful cartoon of my God, the idea of going to kill him goes against everything that the religion says.
And if somebody was to do that, Sam, you would stand up and say, like, if somebody was to kill that guy and say they did it in the name of Christ, like, you would stand, like, apparently against that guy.
I would stand up for Glenn. I personally would understand that he has a freedom of speech. It's the first thing that he was told he was allowed to do. And I know that doesn't necessarily apply all over the world, but I'm concerned that it's going to metastasize in such a way in this country.
Well, and part of the problem and the reason that I point that out is because when there's something like this, like, where are the Muslim Americans? Where are the British Muslims? Like, where are the Muslims who are part of the Western world and the Western culture standing up against this and saying that it's wrong? It seems like anytime something like this happens, the Muslim world just kind of puts its head down. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem, and I'm not calling out any Muslim in particular. I'm not calling out... I'm not trying to be aggressive towards Islam, but...
And, I mean, I had last night, Christelle hates death metal. So anytime we have an argument, that's when I choose to put death metal on. And we were bickering last night a little bit, and I put Behemoth on. And anybody that knows who they are, it's all hate God, rah, rah, hate God. So I was sitting there thinking, man, their drummer's wicked. Their guitarist is really good. I'm just like, I'm not even paying any attention to their lyrics, and I already know it's a bunch of Satan babble. Whatever they want to talk about, fine, it's their album.
I hate that you do, Mohammed, but you are a very talented artist.
Yeah. How in the world does it end up where these certain people, and it happens with Christians to a smaller degree, like the Westboro Baptists, definitely happens to Christianity too, but not to the same level. How in the world does this happen? It just amazes me. It truly amazes me.
I need to point out once again that when the Westboro Baptist Church goes and protests a soldier's funeral, the rest of the Christian world stands up and says, that was wrong, we do not agree with that. And you simply don't see that happening in the Muslim world. And this guy who was on Joe Rogan, I forget his name, I got to look it up. I recommend everybody go listen to it. He was saying, he's like, the fact of the matter is, a lot of Muslim people, and he was talking more about in Saudi Arabia, more in the Middle East, like, they might say to their white friends in front of other people in public that, like, oh yeah, that was a sad thing that happened on 9/11, but when they go home in the privacy of their own home and family members, they're happy it happened. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's anecdotal because I haven't witnessed that, but like that's coming knows these people, and like that really scared me. Like, what percentage of the Islamic world behind closed doors doesn't stand against this behavior?
Kyle, that's exactly why we need Samsung to be able to hear all your conversations that go on in your house, and your TV and your computer needed to record exactly what you're up to, what you and your girlfriend are doing on Valentine's Day. Beautiful bouquet. I just simply brought up cartoons of Jesus cartoons on Google to compare it to cartoons of Muhammad cartoons. And
there's almost nothing when you pull up Mohammed. There's much less.
I mean, there's pretty much just as much. I mean, I don't know about this one. What the hell is this? Looks like some kind of butt ramming going on. But I mean, when you draw your comic Muhammad character or Islamic character's got a big giant nose, a funky beard, a hat that looks like two balls on his head, and then some kind of like Charlie Hebdo artist French kissing some kind of Islam or something. I mean, that's just weird to me. I mean, looks kind of funny, but I mean, are any of these drawings on this page offensive enough for someone to go shoot up the building?
There's no cartoon.
Is this another false flag terrorist attack to crack down on freedom of speech, Kyle, or what do you think?
You know, I honestly don't think that it is, and I think we have to be careful about when we think things are false flags and say things that are, because even since 9/11, what were we told that they hate about us, which is, in my opinion, nonsense, but they said that they hate us for our freedom, and the stated goals of Al-Qaeda at the time was that they wanted to make us fearful, and what better way to do it than to shoot up a place and get our rights taken away? That kind of achieves all their goals. So I come at it more recently of the mindset that this isn't a false flag. This is what extremist Islam wants to do to us. And if you look at it in that perspective, they are winning this war. They're getting our freedoms taken away, and they're making us scared.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's what that, or it's also making certain factions angry. And it's even worse if that happens, because you're going to have more of an us versus them siege mentality, and you're going to have less unity in the country. Because right now, for the most part, I have no idea what I always say Joe Islamist down the street is doing.
Mohammed
and Joe Islamist has no idea what Sam Christian over here is doing. We really don't care. We hope each other are having a great day. I'm worried that that's going to deteriorate in this country because of things like this. That's the big worry. Where it's like on a personal level, once in a while South Park comes up with something I think is funny. But for the most part, I think that they find ways to shock you, because all in all, South Park really isn't all that funny. And that's all they have to offer. When nothing else works, then they'll decide to pick on someone's religion because they don't have anything to write about. They're not really all that clever, in my opinion. That's it. I've never once thought about shooting anybody that writes South Park, and I'm hoping that we don't end up with that in this country.
Oh, Sam, you're going to go into the South Park offices armed with an artillery of weapons. I mean, luckily today for you, Sam, we have TSA active shooter drill training, active shooter training video that I'm going.
You can throw soup. You know you can throw soup, right?
Yeah. Well, throw shitty soup. Don't throw good stuff.
Yeah. Cans of soup, 6 packs of beer.
Did you see that? Did you buy that watch, D-Lake?
Yeah, I like how it's on Conservative Outfitters, this video. That's pretty cool. I actually like this website. But let me set up the audio. Kyle, if you want to sort of do like a brief introduction to this.
Yeah, Sam, have you seen this video, by the way?
I don't believe so. No, I was joking about the soup because of for the listeners that don't know, a school encouraged children to throw soup with an active shooter. But no, what do we have here?
This is a video that apparently was leaked. It's a training video from the TSA of how to deal with an active shooter. When somebody comes through the TSA and starts shooting people, as a TSA agent, what do you do? And It's outright ridiculous. Like, everything about this video, and D-Lake sent it to me, I watched like 7 times. Just because everything about it, and I'll get into my problems with this video after we watch it, but it's very, very, it's hilarious and scary because to, like, the trained eye, you can see how ridiculous it is, but, like, think about how many dumb people who work for the TSA are just eating this up, and they're like, I'm gonna be a hero. Alright, let's watch this.
Okay, I had to set up the audio for this.
I'm going to mute out. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, the video could not be loaded. Okay, wait, something just failed. Here,
What
let me
did you
try to
do,
reload the
D-Lake?
page. I was trying to blow up the page so we could get a better look at it. Here's a still from it. Let me scroll down for the video. Hello, scrolling down for the video. Here we go. Very threatening intro sound there. Let's play it one time through and then talk about it.
Have a nice flight. Welcome to Checkpoint A, everyone. I need your shoes and belts off. I need if you...
Sir, is there a laptop in here? Can you take that out for me, please?
Have a nice flight.
Thank you.
Boarding pass and ID.
Oh my God.
All of a sudden, I heard gunshots. It sounded like a cannon. I immediately hit the ground in disbelief.
I knew I had to get myself out of there. So that's what I did. I ran.
Run!
I knew the layout of the airport and where all the exits were,
Since I
so I
worked
knew
there.
exactly where to go.
Turn your phones off and hide. We needed to get the room completely
I forgot to mention I did some of the background screaming for the audio on this video.
dark and quiet so that hopefully the shooter wouldn't realize that we were still in there.
Ready?
On 3.
One.
Fight.
Heroes.
3! Oh, now he had an Uzi in the shadow. I just saw that. Active shooter.
Oh my God. D-Lake, I must say, D-Lake, congratulations. You have done it again. You have found the... On Saturdays, I'm telling you, D-Lake finds the dumb D of the day. It's not me. I know I'm the one who does it on my show, but no. D-Lake is the man for dumdies on the Saturday edition. Can we all admit it? Wow. I would have thought that that was a Saturday Night Live skit. I would not have thought that that was a real
No,
skit.
that's a tax. No, Sam. That's a taxpayer-funded federal government transportation security administration put together video active shooter incident response training. Now, Kyle, if you could put yourself into the position of someone who just recently got a job with the TSA because you ran out of options, could you describe your first day at work when this is the training video that you watch? You'll be like, this is a great job. I get to watch like reality TV shows of active shooters and how did you feel about
Well, I thought that was a really good
D-Lake,
video, D-Lake. I thought that really showed what I'm be doing on my job, and I want to be a hero. I want to protect America, and I really like that video.
Okay, this was filmed in Indianapolis. I don't know if that's how people talk at that airport, but Kyle, can you talk about some of your other feelings about the video, and then Sam?
How many times have you guys flown since the creation of the TSA? A few times?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have been through airports in different parts of the country. We've all, Sam, I don't know if you've been through O'Hare. I know D-Lake's been through O'Hare. I've been through O'Hare multiple times. I've been through Midway Airport in Chicago. D-Lake, I'm sure you've flown through, what, like LAX and...
I went through O'Hare. They drug me to O'Hare to take me to Arkansas, but yes, I have been.
San Diego is a pretty nice airport to me. It's really small in
Wait
comparison.
a minute, O'Hare. Which one's O'Hare? I'm sorry.
O'Hare, Chicago. That's
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
yes, I have then. Yes, that's what they did.
All right, so we've all been
care.
at the airport quite a few times since the creation of the TSA. Now, in that video versus real life, how many obese African American women did you see?
My experience at TSA is very multicultural, but I did see my share of African Americans. It seemed pretty well balanced. A lot of Asians, some white people.
Every airport
of
I've
course,
ever gone to.
no, wait. Of course, though, in a TSA active shooter drill, the shooter is going to be a white guy, a white dude. And all the black people are going to save you and charge and fight on 3. The Asian gentleman knows all the exits because he works there.
Don't forget he's a martial arts expert. You have to play into the stereotype that they're going to use.
Yes, and let me just say that I have no problem with obese African American women. I'm just pointing out the fact that anybody who flies a lot knows that there is a a discrepancy. There are much more black women working TSA than any other race, but in this video, everyone's white except for like 2 people. Now, why is that? And that's what I'm getting to. What's the point of that? Because they don't want to offend anybody, right? And so when they say we don't want to offend anybody, how do you not offend anybody by making the bad guy white and making everybody else white, because white people won't get offended? So therefore,
we're not allowed to. We're not allowed.
All right, you were asking about the first day on the job. If I could harken back for those that, please, if you can, shout out to my friend Arnold who helped me do this. Go to the Halloween video. I imagine the first day of the video would be as Buddy Buck said on my show on Halloween. So, like, man, I went into the TSA for my job today, and they tell you, they pull a gun out, man, you're supposed to run. And I never thought of that. That's what comes to mind. I swear to God, that's exactly what. Run. You have to tell someone to run from a gun. Otherwise, they'd have never thought of it.
The TSA message in this training video, if you just got a job at TSA, the message is run, then hide, then fight.
Yeah, the way that you win any battle.
Man, that
Hey,
works.
Kyle, you said, yeah, man. Kyle, you said something, and on my screen share are pictures of the LAX shooter, in this bizarre photograph. And you all might remember Paul Anthony Ciancia, CIA in his name twice, who's not being held in just any ordinary prison. And on the news, like, it went from him having, like, small arms to a commando rocket grenade launcher. And I noticed at the beginning of this video, it looked as if the active shooter had a pistol. He shoots the first TSA agent. Kyle said, but then that's the same agent that's alive. Like
10, not even 5 seconds later.
No, I think that's 2 different women right there.
No, look, there she is.
Okay.
All right, so that's the woman.
That's her again?
Still. Yep, that's her again.
That's a different one. Is there a laptop in here? We're going to need to scan that and pull all your images.
Stupid video. All right, so there she is. Now, all smiley and nice like old TSA agents get shot.
Yeah, well, apparently she's about to get shot. We can hear from the audio and the brilliant soundtrack. But what would you say? It's kind of blurry, but what would you say that weapon is?
I'd say that's like a 1911 or like maybe like a Glock. Kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. Well, obviously a handgun, a 45 maybe, something like that.
Yeah, little handgun, little semi-auto.
Boarding pass and ID? Kyle, boarding pass and ID? That's reason to shoot you, bitch. I'm a deranged military veteran, maybe? White guy?
Again, before we continue to compare reality to this video, whenever you've flown, are they nice and smiley and boarding pass and ID, please? Have a nice flight. No, they're very dehumanizing and treat you like a 5-year-old. Like, I've never had this polite, nice TSA experience.
I usually just get a wave and a next, please, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, so we heard a cap go off, and now you're saying that same girl is late. A woman is
Right there.
Is that her?
Yeah.
No, that's a different one. She had the
I
gloves
don't
on.
know. I
Okay,
don't know.
that guy was at the LAX. He was at
Yes.
the Anthony. He was here. He got injured.
Yeah. He was in that animation.
Okay, we can't hear it anymore, but we're talking over it this time, so it's cool. Okay, here comes what actor is this? Here comes Jim Carrey, or I don't know who is.
I think
that?
that's Michael Biehn, actually.
Yeah, is that Michael Biehn?
Pretty
This
sure.
guy's like, Michael Biehn, fuck you!
Fuck you! Terminator
There he is.
sucked!
There he is, Sam, throwing his cans of soup like a young. Okay, that guy was dead right there from a shot to the back, running away. Run, everybody, run! Come this way. I know the exit. See, that's a different female. Run! Sam, how do you feel about the running part?
It amazes me that they would actually consider hiring people to whom the first instinct you give them is to run. Second of all, why in the world would you set it up so that how do you want to word this without coming off as offensive to how in the world is it that you don't have any training? I don't think you should arm the TSA, but you don't have any training. At no point does it come into the airport's idea, unless maybe they do it and they can't tell us. I'll accept that as an answer. Maybe we should hire armed security staff.
Don't give him ideas.
Maybe even an off-duty police officer and have him by the gates.
Don't give him ideas, Sam. And I have to retort that they do have training. They have 1 minute and 51 seconds of training.
Well,
Yes.
Sam, just to address that really quickly, and I think it needs to be addressed. At my airport in San Diego, and it's really small in comparison. I think I already said that, but it is. I think I do believe I noticed that in addition to the TSA, which has their own federal job, STPD has an outlet in the airport. So there are armed police. There is an armed police division at my airport, to my knowledge. And,
yes, I mean, I don't imagine.
There's LAPD officers, right? I mean, I would assume. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, the other option is you could have, and this is going to make every anti-gun nut have a freak out. But how many people do we have in this country that we could train with a firearm that would not be a TSA member? I'm not saying that. Even if it was a private security company, there are things that we could do that would be better than run, as if your average active shooter isn't going to shoot the TSA agent in the back. It's ridiculous. It's mind-blowingly dumb to me.
At that point, though, you're just talking about, changing the name. You'd still have armed, people who are doing the same job of the TSA at the checkpoint. I mean, I think the answer is to have an armed
but private
citizenry.
security companies have always existed, so I don't have a problem with private security companies as long as they operate within the same laws everybody else has to.
Yes,
Kyle,
which the TSA doesn't.
Kyle, if I could return to the video imagery again real quick. Not only, I mean, this is obviously a training video for someone working at the TSA, but as a person that does not work at the TSA, they're telling you that all citizens or people that are about to board a flight, whoever they are, they're all going to run and get freaked out and panic, and the TSA agent knows, wait, you have a uniform, where do we go? What's the way out of here? Come this way, come on. Okay, this lady with the big boobs gets trampled. Oh my God, hide. How many hiding places can you think of in an airport, Kyle? I mean, should an airport have a lot of hiding places, Kyle?
That's a really good question. And I don't know, would you feel comfortable going into a job where they're pretty much telling you this is something that might happen, and if it does happen, there's nothing you can do. Just try not to get shot, buddy.
Kyle, you brought up before about all of us flying, and like you've been in airports, I've been in airports. The best hiding place I can think of in an airport is what? A bathroom stall?
A bathroom stall. Oh, maybe jump into the X-ray scanner. maybe if you jump into the X-ray scanner and then he shoots it and it malfunctions, you'll get superpowers. That's the best outcome.
Oh! Yes! Oh! A bullet deflected by the radiation machine enhances me with superpowers? Oh, I'm really liking that idea, Kyle.
TSA man is
Turn your phone off and hide. Hide, motherfucker. Oh, what a brilliant hiding place she has. If I can try to camouflage myself with these outlets.
Yeah, if I was playing, if you were playing hide and go seek, you would have lost. That's just kind of getting down on the ground. That's not really hiding.
How can a black woman hide against a white wall?
That's inappropriate.
So racist.
It's like, but they are pretty much telling you just like, well, this is going to happen if you work here. Try not to get shot. Oh, you're going to hit him with that fucking soft cloth suitcase.
Oh, wait, it looked like the black guy turned out the lights. He's like, they will not be able to see us if I turn out the lights. The white people will be dead, and we'll be alive.
Nobody's smart.
Oh, right there. He turned out the lights. Okay. Let's just get through this real quick. Okay, here comes the active shooter. He's still got the same gun, the same 45. Okay, right? On two, on one. Okay, here we go. Fight. 1, 2. Now
and now he's got like a full fucking
shadow. Let me go to my video. In the shadow, he has a fucking Uzi or some kind of automatic.
That's bigger than an Uzi. I don't know what that was. That was a large gun, though. That was a large... Yeah, that was an Uzi, it looks like.
But Kyle, if you're on your first day of training at the TSA, you cannot question the production value or authenticity or reality of this video. I mean, look, you still want the job, right? You're not going to get that job if you start questioning the training videos.
No, absolutely not.
Well, you know what? This would be here's an interesting wrench, and the question came to my head before I even have the answer thought out. But here's one: if we're going to claim that we are in favor of the Second Amendment, which we all here are, then if Kyle, you decide you're going to apply as a TSA agent, you have a concealed carry permit. Should you be allowed to bring your gun to work? There's a philosophical question for you.
I think that if you're going to fly and you have a concealed carry permit, you should be able to bring it through the airport for your own protection, so you don't have to run, hide, and then maybe fight. Like in situations like it's as simple as this: gun shops don't get robbed. Why don't gun shops get robbed? Criminals want guns, right? That's a high priority. Criminals really want guns. Why don't gun shops get robbed?
You know, you're going to laugh. The only reason I don't like a lot of guns in the airplane, and granted, this is not going to happen very often. This is going to be 1 in 5 million. The one guy that gets his permit is not even normally a bad guy. He just gets a little bit too much to drink, you know, at the plane, and accidentally sets the damn thing off in the bathroom of the, you know what I mean? Once you've breached the fuselage, you're pretty much over with. So that concerns me, is that somebody's going to set it off, just oops. And you can't have it just oops in an airplane. For every other reason, I am in favor of bringing it on board.
I'd even be, I mean, there's reasonable precautions that can be taken. I mean, back in the old days, you didn't have like a big sign that said no guns in the bar. You had gun checking. Back in like the Wild West, you went into a bar, you'd check your gun. Why can't you check your gun when you get on an airplane and have it all the way through up until that point? Because, yeah, I mean, even if the plane's going to get taken over by some hijacker, a gun isn't going to do you much good. It's just going to kill everybody faster when you decompress the airplane.
Well, you'd have an issue with checking, though, because then the person that wanted to harm the plane wouldn't check theirs. So, I mean, that again, I think for 99.9% of the flights, an armed flight would be just fine. Because there aren't that many people stupid enough to discharge a gun in an airplane. There are people that dumb, but thankfully, not yet anyway, is America actually overrun with them.
What if this guy gets shot? Drunk topless passenger causes Ireland-bound Ryanair flight to be diverted to Denmark.
D-Like, you're fast. You're fast. He's fast. Yeah, D-Like, that guy.
Thank you, Sam. This drunk guy aboard this flight took his shirt off. He's in the back cabin part of the plane. He starts punching things and doing elbows like he's a boxer. He's obviously drunk. He starts leaning on the chairs of the people in front of him. They don't really know what's going on. Later on in the video, other passengers join together to contain the gentleman. And the pilot decided to divert the flight. It landed not at its predetermined destination. This guy, put the camera down. No more filming. Thank you.
No, I have to film this. I paid for my ticket. I have to. I can't help myself.
Drunk guy at the back of the plane with no shirt punching things? I mean, come on. I got to film.
I'm obviously going to film this shit. How am I not the only one?
How did TSA not stop this jet? Oh, this was in Ireland, but I mean, how did they not?
I'd say to that guy when he's like, put the camera down, I'd be like, don't you have bigger issues to deal with right now than me? Like,
when he was checking in, and the article does go on to explain that he turned out to be, pretty cooperative with police and didn't resist arrest upon landing. He confirmed that the man spent the evening in East Jutland police custody, but did not say whether the man would face charges or not. But, I mean, it's just like, Kyle, I mean, I don't know how much you drink before you get on a plane, but I try to keep it, like not not punching things with my shirt off.
Yeah, I've never taken my shirt off and punched stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of cocktails on the plane. But, I mean, I generally don't drink enough to take my shirt off and punch things anywhere, let alone a plane. Like, does this guy do this? Is this just regular for this guy? He's always, like, he's at the bar. They're like, you're cut off, Tony. And he's like, I'm taking my shirt off and punching stuff now. They're like, Tony.
I have a feeling it might have been just a little bit out of character, but, yeah. Kyle, you had some important news that you wanted to get to today about the father of the internet saying and warning of an upcoming digital dark age. Can you get into that a little bit?
Which, that article that I showed you, the father of the internet, I forget his name, he works for Google. And
Vint Cerf.
The article's super misleading with its title, saying like he's predicting an internet dark age. That's not what he's saying at all. What he's saying is that we need to back up our information in hard copies, on paper, in books. We need actual physical copies of things. Otherwise, in the future, they will look back and see a dark age where they don't know what happened, like an age of no record. And the best way that I could explain what he's saying in this is like, D-Lake, Sam, you guys are older than me, so you definitely remember. You remember like the old, not the little floppy diskettes, like the old big-ass floppies where you'd have to stick them in and click the little thing down behind it. You remember those?
Oh, man, yeah.
Like the big, like, what were they, like 6-inch or 7? I think they were 7-inch floppy disks.
Yeah, they kept getting smaller, and then it was all about having like a portable thing that you could take with you. And
okay. So if you, let's say in like 1990...
Then it evolved to CDRs, recordable CDs.
Yes. It went through a lot of phases, zip disk, CDR.
Yeah,
let's say
that's what I was thinking of.
In 1990, you had all your information, and I know this isn't possible, but hypothetically, you had all your information on those big 7-inch floppy disks, all your pictures, all your contacts, all your addresses, all your tax information, like all the history of man, like everything that had happened in 1990 was kept on those big floppy disks. And then you went into a coma, and you woke up today, and you had to get all that information back off of those old floppy disks. That would be really fucking hard, right?
Another brilliant movie idea.
Like that's what he's saying.
Guy wakes up from a coma. All his data is on this ancient technology. Brilliant. Sam, I hope you're sitting at your typewriter and getting all this down.
Yes, yes.
Think,
I'm adding up all the words on an abacus.
But think about it. What would you have to do to go get all your information back? You would have to find a computer from that time, or one that's a little bit newer that maybe has the big old floppy and the smaller floppy disk that like we're more accustomed to 15 years ago. And then you'd have to transfer everything to those smaller floppies, and then you would have to get a computer that had a floppy disk drive and a CD drive and burn it to CDs, and then you would have to take it from that and put it on a USB flash drive, and you would have to somehow, throughout this entire process, be converting files into formats that you could actually open today. It would be very difficult, and what he's saying is that technology is moving exponentially right now, and that difference between 1990 and 2015 is going to be tenfold from 2015 to 2030, 2030 to 2045, and that there's going to come a point where all this information that we've been storing, pictures, archives, history, in 100 years, they literally will look at the data and be like, we don't even have anything to open this. Like, we have no way of getting this data, if that data even exists anymore, if that data's made it through. They will only have the books and the physical record from this time, which is like far, far, far less than generations before us. That's what he's saying, and that we need to back things up in a physical form.
And on a small scale, anybody who is a musician can attest to this. It has happened to a small degree there. Now, I don't know what you mean about having stuff on, like at the beginning of your story, I wasn't sure what you meant, because we can still play like those old circular reels that they used to use for music. If we don't have a lot of players extant today, but they're around.
Records?
No. They were these cylinders that were about, I'm putting my hand to the
it looked like
camera.
a
That's
black
not going to help
piece of
anyone on
pipe.
podcast.
It was a record, but it was circular.
Yeah, and it was like
It
a
looked
long
like a paper
tube.
towel roll.
Yes. We could still play them, so I don't know that you would need to bounce it into every other format.
Are those
get
those
it.
things? Are those things that play like
So what we used,
piano?
No, it was
Or you
like
could-
a picture, like the record, how it plays like the grooves. It picks up the vibration within the grooves,
Yeah.
but instead of the needle spinning around and going towards the center, it's on like a tube, like a piece of PVC piping, and it moves from one side of it to the other side.
Oh, I thought it rolled. You remember those like rolls
Those
that had
two,
the
yeah.
notes? And you could put it into a piano, and the piano would basically play the song by itself.
Yeah, it was like
But-
binary sheets.
Yeah.
there was a program, and I'm not a real big fan of prefab loops. If anyone doesn't know, it's music that's already written that you paste in place.
Yeah.
I used those when we first started. There's like a couple songs that we do that have a few in it just because at the time we'd liked the little groove that we made, but we haven't used them probably in 15 years or longer. Well, there's a program called Techno EJ, which was full of these prefab loops, but it had one wonderful thing in it, and it was called the hyper generator. And you could say something and then cut up what note it was played on and move it anywhere from an eighth note to a 16th note. I think it might have even had a 32nd note, but I don't remember. And we used to use that for a real quick effect if something was playing and then you needed it to repeat. And it would do it real fast for you. Now, any of the files that we had written in that, if we want to edit what was said, it's bloody hell to find a computer that will read Techno EJ. It was just an old program, and now it's very hard to get anything to run it. And the other programs they have now that do that are actually more complicated.
Hey Kyle, one of the can you guys hear me? Sorry. Kyle, one of the weird things that stood out to me when I was reading the article that you sent me this morning about Father of the Internet warns of upcoming digital dark age, says print all your data or lose it. Vincent Cerf is his name. Cerf is the chief internet evangelist at Google. The chief internet evangelist? The hell kind of position title is that, Sam?
No, if he is the internet evangelist, I'll tell you this. Do not draw a caricature of him because they'll show it on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Armed gunmen will...
Do not draw him in a Santa hat. Don't do it.
brilliant way to bring things full circle. Armed gunmen will storm Google. All Google employees, just like the TSA, they should run. They should hide. Hopefully there's more hiding places in the Google offices than there are at an airport.
Yes. Because
they'll
make you use trans coloring book and take your computer.
I brought up that point earlier, and I asked Kyle, Sam, how many hiding places do you think there are in an airport? If you're not TSA, if you're just a regular person. You don't have you're not gifted the superpowers of the TSA. You're just a regular traveler. I mean, where are you going to hide in an airport from armed shooters?
I suggest the trash can.
Yeah. Good one, Sam.
You could also
I don't know.
You could also run to the pizza shop and start throwing pepperoni pizza because of the whole pig thing.
Yeah, I would get as close as I could to giant objects I could throw. That would be
like pepperoni.
Yeah, because I'm not.
Because there's a real good chance that the shooter's not going to make it out, so he's not going to want to go to Allah smelling like a pepperoni. So you could always use that to your advantage.
Yeah,
it makes as much sense.
I'm headed towards the Jack in the Box, and I'm throwing fucking sausage biscuits at him.
Sausage and biscuits.
Take this to Allah, mother effer, sausage biscuits. No, but it wouldn't be Allah. It's a white guy. It's some kind of disgruntled veteran in the video. I don't know what they're trying to say with that. He wears a flannel shirt, and he starts out with a 45, and then he has an Uzi. I don't know. Kyle, are you back?
Yes, my internet just died and came back to life.
Yeah,
Kyle, did you print out everything that you said before your internet connection was lost? Because
I didn't. It's fucking gone now.
You don't have it backed up on floppy?
Yeah, future generations are going to be like, what happened to Kyle in those 30 seconds?
Future generations will be like, something, Kyle didn't appear to be on the show.
And I'll tell you, too, another thing, there's got to be other avenues where this happens. I used to own a Yamaha SY85 to go further down Nerdville, and it was a keyboard that loaded its sounds off of floppies. And you could still find floppies today. They originally said that they were going to stop making them in total, and I know probably people in other avenues of life run into the same issue. I just don't know about it. But musicians, I know for sure, were like, whoa, 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 whoa. I've got a keyboard that has 3,000 excellent sounds on 50 different discs, and I do not want to lose the ability to be able to load these sounds into the keyboard anymore. So there is still a market for that kind of thing.
Yeah, but even stuff like that is going more and more to CDs and to SD cards. Like I had a keyboard.
Yeah, but otherwise you're not going to want to chuck your keyboard, especially if you made the sounds yourself.
Yeah, and that's
you
true.
You store them on floppy. You're like, ah.
So it's like you guys until that breaks.
Computers don't last forever either. I've lost a shit ton of music that I did and that was lost when the computer died. I mean, you try your best to salvage it, to back it up, to bring it back. I mean, Sam lost a bunch of videos. We've all lost in the digital age, and this guy's warning we could lose it all.
But then just keep in mind, not even the problem with conversion and stuff. If stuff just gets disappeared, if stuff's just lost, like imagine if the entire database of YouTube was just lost. Some freak accident. Some guy in a flannel walked into the storage room at YouTube and just shot everybody. They ran, they hid, they fought back, but in the end, everything from YouTube was lost. Like, literally, the past 10 years...
Think about it. Now, think about it. Somebody could literally say, hey, Kyle, after the internet, let's say the internet, there's no more internet.
Post-internet.
Somebody would be like, well, what's Kyle do for the movement? He's never done anything. And they'd be like, nothing to prove that you did.
No, they'd be like, what movement? They wouldn't even know about that. Like, imagine if, like...
people that want to upload their mind, Kyle, to the internet. What happens when an electromagnetic pulse or a damn solar flare hits the planet?
Yeah, well, exactly.
You're talking about, Sam, you're talking about PA, or PI, excuse me. Like, if the internet dies, we're going to have to restart time like BC and AD, okay?
But seriously, like,
if
a giant solar flare in a flannel, like, hit the Earth with what started as a semi-automatic and turned into an Uzi, and We lost everything on the internet, all the information from Reddit, from YouTube, from Google Drive. Everything is just gone. iTunes, like, we would like be set back a lot very quickly, and there would be a gap of about 15 years where there was almost no information except for Martha Stewart's Living and
Hey,
Us Weekly and People Magazine.
I just thought it through. We'll call it AI after internet. It'll be 2020 will start all over. It'll be year one AI after internet. But we call it AI because it's kind of a goof on artificial intelligence because that'll all be gone.
But it's kind of the opposite, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be pretty funny.
Got to just go back to sharpening sticks and stuff.
I'm gonna trademark
TSA
that.
man saves us.
I'm gonna trademark that right now, immediately, like one of the Sandy Hook victims would trademark the victim's name, so the media and those evil truthers can't go using it. That came out in the news this week. I don't know if you heard about that, but do we have any science news today, Sam?
Yes, we do. Two interesting ones, as a matter of.
Hey, whoa, Sam.
Come on, let's intro this.
It's time to learn some science. So hit Sam with the science front.
Greetings, unsettled souls. Welcome to News from the Science Front. John Rappaport wrote this, and before I get into it, I want to say that in many instances, John Rappaport has been somebody who I used to follow, and then he gave the single worst Ebola advice and coverage that I have ever seen anybody give on anything in any story through all of time. Fortunately, he's gone back to more of the writing that we've expected from him. So before I go into this, don't believe everything Rappaport says. You end up dead. A whole branch of science turns out to be fake, and this is very true. It says the reality manufacturing company not only turns out the past, present, and future for mass consumption, it explains why things are the way they are. It appoints itself master of attributing causes, the king of cause and effect. And what he's talking about is the DSM. It says, devotees of science often assume that what is called science is real and true. It must be. Otherwise, their faith is broken. Their superficial understanding is shattered. Their superior worldview has been torpedoed. He means that there are no definitive laboratory tests for any so-called mental disorder. By that, people would say that I have attention deficit disorder. That's a characteristic that certain people have that they've turned into an illness. If someone is prone to depression, that is something that they are saying is caused by some chemical in your brain. But there's no proof to this in any way, shape, manner, or form. So I'm going to go on with it. It says all so-called mental disorders are concocted, named, labeled, described, and categorized by a committee of psychiatrists from menus of human behaviors, not chemical disorders, behaviors. Their findings are published in periodically updated editions of the DSM, printed by the American Psychiatric Association. For years, even psychiatrists have been blowing the whistle on the hazy, crazy process of what they call research. Of course, pharmaceutical companies who manufacture highly toxic drugs to treat every one of these disorders are leading the charge to invest more and more mental health categories so that they can sell more drugs and more money. If you're listening to the Science Front and you're asking yourself right now, well, maybe I don't believe this story that he's telling me because I've got a friend who has schizophrenia and his medicine helps him a lot. I'll be the first to admit that schizophrenia is one that it's like a vaccine. It's worth the risk if the person is painfully schizophrenic. It's worth the risk, just like it's worth the risk if you're going to go into an anthrax zone to get the anthrax vaccine. Might not be worth it for just the flu. It might be worth these psychiatric drugs if you are schizophrenic. It's not worth it if you just get a little depressed. It says, we have a mind-blowing twist. Under the radar, one of the great psychiatric stars who has been out in front in inventing mental disorders went public. He blew the whistle on himself and his colleagues. One of the people that have been behind the DSM, Dr. Alan Francis, is the man who in 1994, you never heard about this, headed up the project to write the latest edition of the Psychiatric Bible, the DSM-4. This tome defined the labels and describes every official mental disorder. In April 19, 1994, a New York Times piece, Scientists at Work, Daniel Goldman called Francis perhaps the most powerful psychiatrist in America at the moment. Well, he said there is no definition for a mental disorder. It's bullshit. I mean, you can't define it. He says, bang, that's on the order of the designer of the Hindenburg looking at the rubble of the ground and remarking, well, I knew there would be a problem. In other words, there is no chemical imbalance. There is nothing of the sort in any way, shape, matter, or form. Some people think it's a nutritional deficiency. It could be toxic dyes, antibiotics, pesticides, herbicides, vaccines, sensitivities to food, prior injury. It goes on and on and on and on of things that lead to a person's behavior. Not these ridiculous drugs that they want to give people for everything. And I came across this, again, go to the article, it's a rather long one for the specifics. But please, before anybody reading this puts any more stupid drugs into their system, look at naturopathic cures to some of this, because it's not worth it unless you're somebody who's not just using it for a crutch. I think it's deadly. That's the first of the two. What are you guys' thoughts?
I actually know a little bit about this. I've taken some classes in sociology and psychology at a community college, and they do acknowledge this, that I think that the way that article stated it is a little bit is not completely right. It is completely theoretical. All chemical imbalances are theoretical. There's no test. They can't insert something into your brain, put a tube up your nose, and figure out whether you have a chemical imbalance. Those are all theoretical explanations for behavior, and those might be true. Some of them might be true, some not. It doesn't mean that it's bullshit, but it's just it's theory. It's not plain fact. And the way that mental illness is identified is by attributes of character, which many would say, well, where do you draw the line between differences in people's personality and when does it become actual mental disorder? Somebody with schizophrenia, obviously they're hearing voices in their head, they're seeing things, they're completely delusional. That's much different than bipolar disorder, which I tend to agree with might say that's somebody with a bad temper. You know, like it. Mm-hmm. And the whole chemical thing now. Does your nutrition, do vaccines, do other medical things affect that? And is that a possibility that, you know, the chemical imbalance is caused by other influences within our environment? Definitely.
Yeah, Kyle, the guy that killed Chris Kyle, the American sniper, according to Hollywood and Clint Eastwood, is on trial right now. Dr. Drew and Adam Kokesh were talking about it when Adam's mic got cut. Got pretty heated on that show, and the Gunny was talking a bunch of her thoughts and opinions, and I respect everyone's thoughts and opinions. Obviously, everyone inside my head, because I'm kind of schizophrenic like Sybil and have multiple personalities. But so whoever was just saying that shit, I totally forgot what they were talking about.
But yeah, I mean, the what is it, the DSM, the medical handbook that all doctors and psychiatrists have, it's really all based on like the perfect person. Like, picture the perfect person within society, the person who everybody gets along with.
Who decided all that? A bunch of Nazis? A bunch of Nazi scientists just killing people? They're like, hey, let's make them ingest gas straight from the fucking exhaust pipe of a truck and see if that kills them. What do you
But
guys
that's
think?
like literally by the definition of mental insanity, it's and mental illness is defined by standing out from the norm. So if everybody is shooting up heroin every day, all the time, round the clock, just doing heroin, and you refuse to do heroin because you think it's insane, and you're like the one person, you are considered to have a mental illness by the definition of it.
So you're saying there? So you guys are saying there's a democracy to insanity?
There is, literally. That's an amazing way to put it.
Very good.
Because what about the guy on the airplane? I mean, could the guy on the airplane with his shirt off punching the cabin walls and they had to divert the flight that we talked about earlier? I mean, is that guy going to be like charged and put in Arkham Asylum and shit because he's insane, like Gotham? Or?
Well, no, you're forgetting though, D-Lake, that guy, if I'm remembering the story correctly, was flying a flight in Ireland, and there that's totally normal.
Yeah, it was on Ryanair, going from Ireland or whatever. So yeah, different rules apply over there. You're right about that. I mean, different rules apply in this shooting. That's going to be big breaking news today. We covered it at the beginning about the Mohammed cartoonist attacked. It's going to be pumped up similar to the Charlie Hebdo case. That's already coming out today. We did a good job covering that. We talked all about Awesome, and Sam, I know you got more science, but we talked about Awesome, the new TSA video that like is so cool. Like the guy changed guns, and you never really saw it happen. You just saw the shadow, and like I thought that was pretty excellent. The soundtrack was great. I love how like they totally kill TSA agents, but it's off screen. You just sort of hear it happen, and then you don't really know did she survive? Was she still alive? So that's important TSA training that our tax dollars are funding.
Well,
when I searched active shooter, there was a bunch of other videos that do sort of the same thing. Sam.
I wanted to say, as far in closing the psychiatric element, I can actually give this as I literally did this right as we were going on air. The way to use the DSM in your favor. My girlfriend Christelle went to make a reservation, and they told her that they weren't accepting any reservations whatsoever, that all reservations had already been booked. So I waited about 10 or 15 minutes, and I called them back and said, yes, I would like to take the reservation for DeGangi. It's for 5 people. It's at either 10 or 10:30. They said it was going to be 4 or 5 people. I'm sorry, doll baby. It's only going to be 2 people. The other 3 people aren't going to make it, so just go ahead and truncate that down. She goes, well, I can't find your reservation. I said, maybe it's at 10:30 then. I'm like, I don't know. How late are you open? She's like, well, we're open till 11. She's like, I don't see it. I said, I know you're really busy. I'm probably just killing you here. You know what? Make her for whatever one's easier for you. She goes, all right, 10 o'clock. Bam, reservation.
Nice.
That is how you use the DSM manual in your favor.
Right there, some neuro-linguistic programming and stuff. Like, you guys seen the video of that guy that drives around? It's also not in America, but I think it maybe in Australia or somewhere like that. But like,
that's what our government does to us every day. It's
like,
exactly what I just did.
He like hypnotizes the cops and gets out of tickets. Like he
really,
like, yeah, he hypnotized the cops. He's like, just starts asking them questions and does like finger snaps and that neuro-linguistic programming thing, NLP.
Really?
What's his name? I'll have to look him up. What's his name?
You know what I'm talking about.
I haven't seen this. I totally have to see it.
You guys remember the kid with the purple shirt that used to run really fast? All right, Sam, what was your other science report?
Yes. My other science report. I wanted to. I think D-Lake and I have mentioned this off air. A lot of people think science, they think space. So I always like to make sure I have one in there, even when I go on a psychiatric trip.
Especially our special guest last week, Will Farrar. Guys, great show last week we did, right, Sam?
Amazing show.
He posted it on his channel, and it's got like almost 1,000 views.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. That's excellent
news.
This is from Rebecca Morrell, who's the science correspondent for BBC News, where this is posted. Heart of Earth's inner core revealed. And as I get into this, people like me who have always believed that the Earth is solid with massive hollow areas. I do
Where the
believe
Nazis
that
live.
the Earth has a core, and I am a hollow Earth person at the same time. Well, this would explain how that could be happening on the surface, because it seems like similar things are happening deep in the Earth. Scientists say that they have gained new insight into what lies at the very center of the Earth. Research from China and the U.S. suggests that the innermost core of our planet has another distinct region at its center. The team believes that the structure of the iron crystals there is different from those that are found on the outer part of the inner core. The findings are reported in the Journal of Nature Geoscience. Without being able to drill into the heart of the Earth, its makeup is something of a mystery. So instead, scientists use echoes generated by earthquakes to study the core by analyzing how they change as they travel through the different layers of our planet. Professor Zhongdong Sun from the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign said, "The waves are bouncing back and forth from one side of the Earth to the other side of the Earth." He and his colleagues in China say this data suggests that the Earth's inner core, a solid region that is about the size of the Moon, is made up of two parts. The seismic wave data suggests that the crystals in the inner core are aligned to the east and west direction, flipped on the side if you are looking down on the planet from above the North Pole. Those in the outer inner core are lined up north to south, so vertical is peering down from the same lofty vantage point. He said the fact that we are discovering different structures at different regions of the inner core can tell us something about the very long history of the Earth. It lies more than 5,000 kilometers down, started to solidify about 1 billion years ago, and continues to grow at about 0.5 millimeters each year. And I think that that's interesting because we are finding out now that even the center of the Earth has different densities to it. And I think not only is that exciting, but we know that there's massive, huge areas of the Earth that are hollow several thousand feet underground, where it might even have its own atmosphere. It doesn't mean that the entire inside of the planet is hollow. But I think it's interesting that more and more of this stuff is coming out and leading to believe that both sides were actually right on this. What do you guys think?
I think there's good stuff coming out of the mantle, but you don't want to get too close to the liquid outer core.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I'm not saying I think that the core is a good place to live. I'm just saying that the structure of the Earth is lending itself towards it being more hollow near the mantle. Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, I think if what was that movie where they went from
The core.
No, not the core. The new was it the new Total Recall, where they went back and forth through the Earth's center.
Yeah,
I want to see that. I forgot it was even made.
Wasn't that good?
You're not going to go through the Earth center. You're going to go around the mantle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right.
I'm still stuck on Sam believing in Hollow Earth.
No, pockets of
is that where all the monkeys live?
That's where the Nazis went. After World War II, they took a submarine to the opening in Antarctica. There's also one in Kentucky.
No, what's interesting is
they developed mind-reading powers, and now it's just the apes and us primitives that live on the surface. Is that right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Nazis did a lot to harm the study of that, because they found a particular section of hollow Earth and led to believe in the theory that the entire Earth was hollow, which, to my way of thinking, was just a dumb idea to begin with. But I happen to think that the Earth, for lack of better description, is more like Swiss cheese. There are pockets in it that are open.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that the same with the Nazis. Yeah, they were under the belief that there was an entire huge section with all these different races and stuff, and that
where they escaped to after World War II with Solomon's treasure and are waiting to regain the surface for the Fourth Reich. These are facts, Sam.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Sorry, and I'm just joking, by the way. just
Yes.
giving Sam some shit. I do believe also that there are pockets, but like the problem with saying that you believe in Hollow Earth is that like there are reasonable Hollow Earth theories and there are some bizarre ones. Like, but yes, the idea that there's giant pockets in caverns, that seems totally rational and likely. I mean, there's holes that in.
Yeah.
There's one, like I said, in Kentucky that we literally do not know how deep it is. Like, they cannot find the bottom of random holes in the earth.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is great because it's like, why in the world can't you drop down several thousand feet of rope?
Yeah,
Unless
I've
it's
wondered about
bendy and curvy. It might be bendy and curvy.
Yeah, I'm also suspicious, though.
Okay, get to work on that rope there, Sam.
I'll go with you. It's not that far, Kentucky.
Guys, this is important art world shakeup. Important news in the art world. We're just talking about Nazis there, Sam. Paintings by Hitler sells for 3 times a Picasso.
Really? Let's see him.
You know, he was a much better architect than a world leader, I will say.
Further proof that World War II and Nazi artifacts are on fire in the collector's world. A watercolor painted by Adolf Hitler before he became Germany's madman dictator sold at an auction this week for 35,000 or 35. Wait, how much? 35,235?
That's not that much. I feel like it'd be worth more. Wait, go to it. That's it down there. Let me see the full picture.
3 times the winning bid of an original Picasso. There's got to be zeros missing on this, right? Because there's like a comma. 35 million?
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be at least a few million. Wait, that's the picture right there? That's a Hitler?
Yeah, this is a Hitler.
That's not that bad. People are like, "Oh, he was a failed artist." I couldn't paint that shit.
No, he was a very good architect. I never understood why he was a failed artist. I wish he would have went on as an artist and never ever got into politics. He was not a bad artist at all. They were very uppity and stuffy at the places he applied at, and they kind of looked down on. They kind of looked down on him because he was more of a commoner. So they kind of worked him out of the art world because they were stuffy and arrogant. He didn't. He had the talent to do it, and unfortunately, he ended up going in the direction we all know. But he actually had the talent. Hillary. Now we have Hillary Clinton.
There's the painting. Yeah, sorry, some sounds came up on my other channel where the link was, but apparently this painting sold for 3 times as much as a Picasso. Like, what the hell?
It's a good painting, I'd say. Could you guys paint that? I could not paint that. Like, when you say shitty artists, I expect, like, stick figures and, like... No, that's good.
One of my paintings on here.
Not that I'm supporting Hitler in any way. I mean, obviously not, but...
All right, set off the entertainment. Set off the entertainment section, Kyle, with your new thing. Did we already get this? We got to Sam's second science report, didn't we?
Yes. I still haven't made a song. I need to.
That's what we're talking about.
What?
Sam, how much more of Adolf Hitler's brilliant artwork is at the center of the Earth, Sam?
Where he's awaiting return.
Do you think they made it all the way down there?
Oh wait, I was muted out. I was muted out. I'm trying not to pick up a delay on it. I was muted out. Well, I think in the middle of the Earth is all of Adolf Hitler's characters of Mohammed.
Yeah, exactly. Down there in the center of the Earth. All right, great, Kyle. Play that new entertainment theme song.
I don't have one.
Come on,
I'll make one.
Time for entertainment, yeah.
It's entertainment time. I'll make one this week, I promise.
Section on the media speaks. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know how it should go. Should have more.
You know what I've been watching a lot of?
Boom, boom, like it's coming at you,
like the TSA music.
I watched a documentary that was particularly disturbing. This gets an NC-17 because it's one of the most disgusting things you'll ever hear, and you may want to mute out. 5, 4, 3, you were warned, 2, 1. Caligula, who was the Roman emperor, who was Nero's father, and we all know that Nero was, we're talking about evil rulers, I wanted to lead into it, by dumb luck, no less. Nero was, in some people's worldview, the first Antichrist that Jesus warned about. Well, Caligula was his father, and among other things, and let me go ahead and find the exact documentary name so I can quote this. Again, you've been warned. This sick bastard had male children. It's Caligula with Mary Beard from the BBC documentary 2013. Caligula had boys that were trained to, he called them his little fishies. They would swim with their hands in front of them. They were taught to swim between his legs, nibble his genitals, and swim away without touching the great Caligula. He is one of the sickest, most twisted, demented people that I have ever watched a documentary on. I mean, we know that Nero kicked his pregnant wife to death. He had a wife beheaded. He tried to have his mother killed by dropping a lead monstrosity, I should say, on her. But Caligula was of a particular sick, twisted, just a weird, awful ruler. And then, of course, like I said, Nero, his son, was covering Christians in tar and lighting them on fire for hours at a time. But yeah, a very disturbing history of Caligula is what I've watched. And when he mentioned rulers, I thought, yeah, I got to mention that. He's a terrible person.
Would that feel like, take all like the disturbingness away, like would that even feel good? I can't imagine that.
It's like, what kind of arrogant, sick mind would even? I listened to it, like, what? What did she say?
He's so good.
And not to mention that his son destroyed the planet Vulcan, made Spock watch. He's like, don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen. Remember that?
No.
Okay.
The good thing is Caligula means little kid's shoe, and it was a nickname that he had as a child, and he would be mortified to know today he's remembered as Caligula. So never call him by his Roman emperor name. I think it's G. Caesar. No. Always call him Caligula. He deserves it.
The little fishy wiener nibbler. That's really weird. That I don't want to see that documentary. I'm glad you told me. It's like so bizarre.
I'm only like halfway through it. I just watched the one on Nero, and I was like, I never watched one on Caligula. I'll watch him. No wonder Nero came out like he did. I mean, whatever sins Nero will one day pay for, I guarantee some of that is rooted to his father. My God.
Oh, yeah. You don't get out of that normal.
What have you
You're looking
seen
at Steve
recently,
Grant
Kyle?
Super Random?
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
What have you seen recently? Anything good?
I've been watching. Your audio's really low. Are you crying? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
He's watching the Caligula documentary, and he's
I'm all
nauseous.
depressed.
You want to talk about it, bud, in the entertainment section?
Valentine's Day, I'm sad. I don't have a big alcohol rose bouquet like you do, Kyle.
It's a booze
starting to
bouquet.
choke me up, make me feel sad. I don't have a
Beautiful.
cool.
Well, I told you how to make a dinner reservation.
That's true.
I've been
Sam.
watching.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, Sam. I'm gonna do that tonight. I'm gonna call people. Like, no, I just had a call the other night. I was on the phone. What was I doing? I was calling my bank because I have to get a new bank card. And the guy's like, "Can I put you on hold and direct you to some other person to talk about some shit?" And I'm like, why can't you just tell me about it, dude? Like, he was like, but I don't really. I was like, I wanted him to tell me that he didn't know, the shit. And I'm like, why don't you just tell me about it? And he's like, well, I need to pass you to this other person to tell you about it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to talk to that other person, dude. I kind of like you, man. I just want to talk to you. Like, you got a nice voice. And he's like, oh, sir, can we end this conversation? I was like, oh, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, fuck you. No, it's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
I mean, like, whenever you call the bank, it's like, hey, what's up? Welcome to your Facebook homepage. We're the bank, and like, this conversation is going to be recorded for like banking purposes, and the banking purposes are like, hey, we have you on fucking voice audio recognition every time you call the fucking bank.
Yeah, do you really need to record everything? I like to tell them, like when I always do the chat because I don't like to talk to them. And I'll do the chat, and they're like, this conversation...
Oh, yeah, I much prefer the new automated system. Press 1. I'm like, you don't know what I sound like when I press 1, motherfucker?
I try and imitate the phone myself, but on the chat, it's like, all chats are recorded, and I'm like, no problem, I record them too. Like, because I just got a fucking file filled with audio recordings of me talking to the bank and AT&T.
What if your job was to sit and listen to all the calls that are made into the bank and all the crazy people that call up and they're like, I didn't get my check and my check bounced and this other motherfucking shit happened and oh my god, I know you're here, Michael Jackson, I can smell your damn popcorn.
That'd be a fun job. That is funny though. I'm gonna start trying to do that when they're like, can I put you on hold? Be like, no, don't leave me.
You guys, if you like horror movies, I'm sure there's probably 9 million horror movies called this, but within the last 2 or 3 years, I want to say it was made. You might be able to find it on YouTube. Not saying you could. It's called Truth or Dare. If you like the more gruesome horror movies, it was decent. I watched it.
Have you seen Tusk yet?
Damn it! Keep forgetting.
It's on Netflix.
I showed Christelle Dark City, the most underrated film of all time, last night.
I think I've seen Dark City. What's that about? Remind me.
It's in this city. There's like cars from the 70s. There's cars from the 30s. There's no matter what you do, it's always dark. And
you talking about Sin City?
No matter where you try to go, everything in the city seems to lead into a circle, and you can't figure out why. It's really, really good and extremely underrated. It should be a must-watch for everyone that likes any kind.
Is this
science fiction, but it's science fiction not in the traditional way that you'd think of it. It's an excellent.
Is it a mystery sci-fi from 1998, Sam?
It's a 98. It's not a.
It has a 7.8 on IMDb. A man struggles with memories of his past, including a wife he cannot remember, in a nightmarish world with no sun, and run by beings with telekinetic powers who seek the souls of humans. Dark.
See, I don't like when they do that because you're not supposed to find out about the guys till later in the movie.
Damn it!
You don't like my audio synopsis, man? Come on.
No, you read it excellently. They wrote it poorly. Okay. How's that?
Okay.
We went out to a concert last night at a local bar. This guy Jimmy Nick, who's a pretty good blues musician, and we were hanging out with my girlfriend's friend and her boyfriend, and it came up that neither of them had seen Good Will Hunting. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, you've both seen Good Will Hunting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great movie, and neither of them had seen it and had like no interest to see it. So I just like kept quoting Good Will Hunting all night, just like completely obscurely. Like they'd be in a conversation.
I don't remember quotes from it though. You're doing good.
Oh, I was rocking them too, and I haven't even seen it that many times. But they'd be like, "Hey, you want to go get another beer?" And I'd be like, "Don't you ever talk about my fucking wife again." They're like, "What?" Was having a whole bunch of fun with that, so when we got home last night, you know what I did? I ordered a DVD of Good Will Hunting on Amazon Prime with free 2-day shipping to their house.
No way.
Yeah, so they're just going to randomly get a copy of Good Will Hunting.
It's got more points than Dark City, though. Wow, bullshit. I see how many.
Oh, come on. Good Will Hunting is like
it's very
like that going down in history.
But Kyle set it up so if they get the references and the jokes, it's like he totally got him with that.
Yeah, I just kept doing it like all night. Like I was like, I'm sorry. One of the guys, Thomas. I was like, I'm sorry, Thomas. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Thomas. I just kept saying it because I might watch Good Will Hunting tonight. That's a good movie. Oh, and Netflix. Who's been watching Friends? Be honest.
What the hell? Never.
Friends is on Netflix. It's nostalgic.
I'd rather hang myself.
It's.
I avoided that the first
What'd you
time.
say?
I was so happy. I avoided it the first time around.
Nobody's watching Friends on Netflix. They got the entire series. It's
Friends?
nostalgic.
No.
It's like so 90s-y. You don't even remember the 90s being as 90s-y as this show. It's bizarre.
I'll watch
I'm so happy when-
I'll watch the Cosby Show before I watch Friends.
I've also been watching Stargate SG-1. That's
My
it.
ex was very, very into that. She loved Stargate.
I love Richard Dean Anderson, so I mean anything that guy does, I'm in.
You want to give a special shout out to your buddies at Netflix?
Yeah. And Amazon Prime, they're good too. And Hulu. Oh, you got people you're sharing an account, huh?
Shut up! What are you talking about, dude? I log in and it's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I let people use my account. Jack Ryan, I watched that. That was pretty decent. It was all right. What else I watch on there? Because they show everybody the same shit. I watched all those comedy specials. Bill
They
Burr.
already know that people will like get into fights with other people to like cut them off from their accounts.
Oh yeah.
You threaten people, you're like, dude, fuck, you're off my account.
I was fucking with somebody and I set that uses my account and I set their user login to children. I thought that was funny. So that they only got like little kid stuff.
Yeah, that's
Heck, man.
that's the problem with me. Like the other person on my account is watching.
Kyle, you gotta watch Dark City.
It's right in the other
I will.
room. They watch a lot of little kid stuff. So I get a lot
And since you like weird quotes, Kyle, just remember, sleep.
I will.
kinda,
That actually does look like a really good movie. Ooh, Tom Segura, I saw that too. I watched all that shit.
I think I'm on my screen here. Sorry for all the Netflix-y stuff, but Kyle, if I was to watch something later on, what would you recommend from what we're seeing here?
I would recommend, as I've said many times before, watching Brian Callen's Man Class. That's a good one on Netflix for sure. Brian Callen's Bryan.
If you bring a lady over for Valentine's Day and you watch the earlier mentioned Truth or Dare, I promise you she'll be in your lap in like just after the first 40 minutes or so.
Just soaking wet.
It's a brutal one. She'll be cowering and snuggling you. You're set, dude.
Netflix's best guess for my liking this is 2.5 stars. So that's
they're fucking wrong. You're gonna love it. It's hilarious.
I love it.
It's good stand up. It's solid.
Should I rate it that I love it already to get more?
Well, you
Who's
should
your
watch
favorite
it first.
stand-up comedian? Mine was Emo Phillips.
Emo Phillips from UHF.
He was.
That's a pull and a half, man.
His stand-up is mind-blowingly funny. I don't know why he still doesn't do them. He was so funny.
Is he still alive?
I'm sure he is. I'll check him real quick.
All right, you can't play it on the show, D-Lake. You can't do that.
Why? Emo's, it was as long as we commentate, right?
Yeah, you guys are not talking.
Emo Phillips was in UHF. He was like in the Weird Al's movie UHF. He had like a show that was like a shop class show, and he cut his thumb off.
He's only 59. He's alive.
Really? I thought he was like way older than that. All right, D-Lake, watch this after the show. Watch Brian Callen's Man Class later.
I don't have it. I don't have the volume on, and I'm just talking over it a little bit. I just wanted to just point out that I recognize this guy. I've seen him in other. Well, that was weird.
Yeah, he was
seen
on
him in
Seventh
other,
Heaven.
comedy shows and stuff. Oh, what was he on?
Seventh Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And he was. What else has he been in? I think he was in The Hangover, maybe. He's been in a ton of stuff. I don't know. He's a funny guy. He's hilarious. All right, what do you say we wrap this thing up? Go be all romantic the rest of the day. D-Lake, you can call your bank.
He's going to be romantic with his
I want
bank.
to talk to that guy again on the phone. I'm like,
He's going to be romantic with a guy at a bank? No, that didn't work right at all. That's not what
my bank phone call. I'm like, I only want to talk to you. Okay.
Like your checking account.
It's like you're making me a little uncomfortable. I don't really. I'm like, why can't you just tell me about this new banking deal, huh?
Whoa!
Why don't you,
Kyle,
take that class? You can be that guy. You can know all this and just tell me. Why you gotta transfer me on my phone call, Sam? Look, Sam, when people come to your house, Sam, they're at your front door, Sam. What did you want to tell
Right
them?
there. It's the bank.
What?
I got something for you to watch, D-Like. February of 2015, which would have been like within the last 2 weeks, clearly. Emo is on a series, an episode called At Midnight. Have any of you ever heard of At Midnight?
Yeah, Allison Rosen was on an episode. So was Greg Proops has been on that show. It's
Is
pretty
it on
funny.
Netflix?
Oh, he's on it.
It's hosted by what's his name, the Nerdist.
I'm on it.
Well,
Is it on
see.
Netflix? I don't know if it is.
I'm
No,
glad I
it's
said
only
email
it's
for
on
that
Hulu.
stuff.
Let me tell you about our free checking with e-payment, David Lake.
I don't have Hulu.
Do you
I
have a
regular Hulu, but I don't
savings
have
account?
Hulu Pro.
Every $500 deposited in your savings with us, I'll suck your dick.
You're in good
Great.
hands with Allstate.
Do you need a deposit slip? Oh my God! Oh, Men, Women, and Children. Watch that movie. The guy from the Allstate commercials is in it. For a brief part, it's Jennifer, Ben Affleck's wife, a few other people. Adam Sandler's in it. Men, Women, and Children. Great movie. It was amazing. It's really, really weird. It's like one of those movies that'll leave you like, huh. Also, watch Frank on Netflix. It's the one with the guy with the giant head. That was weird. Well, I'm telling you to watch weird movies.
I've seen those. Yeah, I'll check them out.
All right. D-Lake, you seem sad. Let's talk about it.
No, I don't know what to check out, man. I'm like, I have my Netflix account open in front of me, and I'm like, what should I watch later? I don't know. I just
Watch
like,
Frank.
I'm in the mood to watch shit. About a guy
Did
with
you
a big
watch
head.
Frank?
Is
Yeah.
that short for Frankenstein? Does he have like
It's,
neck plugs?
Frank is a
and
weird
shit?
movie. It's got a ton of good actors and stuff in it. Maggie Gyllenhaal's in it. One of the older Weasley brothers from Harry Potter. I don't know. I don't want to give away who Frank is, but it's somebody that you will recognize from some really good movies. Frank was good. All right. We done? We done here? Check the internet. Go on the internet and
Yeah. Where can people find us, Kyle?
on the internet. You
Yeah,
go
I know.
on a
That's what I was just like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, if you're watching this video, you have to be on YouTube, and like,
Yeah.
you must have found it somehow. So it seems like maybe you kind of already know where to find us. But if you stumbled upon this video because of the title of the video, and you're like, who the hell is this guy, David Lake? Because this is broadcasting on my channel, and who is the MediaSpeaks.com? Well, you can go to the MediaSpeaks.com on YouTube and find us.
Easily.
But our account, that particular account, has been a little bit slow. But guess what? It's February 2015, and the ban is, what day is it? I think it's like lifted tomorrow or something.
Yeah, it's the fifth. Next episode should be back on that channel.
Can we post the same video? No.
Next week, I think that this video is going to be posted again on a. And you know what, Kyle? What's so funny is earlier today when I was looking up TSA active shooter training video,
Yeah.
one of the videos that came up on the YouTube search was what's that guy's name?
Evan Yeager.
Yeah,
Evan Douche Yeager.
James Yeager or some crap.
James
That guy-
Yeager, yeah. Evan Yeager's a kid I went to school with that ran in the Olympics, and he's not a douche. Why did I say that? He's a nice guy.
How did he do?
I don't,
He did all right.
I've never seen a running douche, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah, he was really fast. He was in the Olympics a few years ago.
I bet you Caligula has seen running douches.
Nibbling on him and stuff, like a weirdo. Yeah, so go on the internet, themediaspeaks.com, Facebook, The
I'd like
Media
to see
Speaks.
one of you guys in the Olympics.
For what? Drinking beer and saying naughty
I
words?
take
rock
offense to that, Kyle. I'll have you know. No, I could be in the Olympics. I take offense to that. I can fall down a hill on a snowboard like nobody you've ever seen.
Okay, Sam, so you're trying out for the Winter Olympics, it sounds like. Samuel!
I always make it to the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
I'm trying out
I'll
for the
be-
BME Pain Olympics.
I'll be cheering for Sam, But the problem is that like after the first time I saw him break his ribs on a fall, every time I see him again, I'm like, do the fall.
Oh, don't worry, you don't have to ask. I do it without
where he
request.
breaks all his ribs and shit, and I'm like, yes.
Oh, we just it's almost all better now. We just got a wicked snow out there, so yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, go for it again, Sam. Watch out for that tree.
Speaking of trees, I have to move this one that's sitting next to me. So
Don't pull a Sonny Bono. Okay, that's an
at the media speaks everywhere.
That's an oh no, Sonny Bono.
Hold the big button on your iPhone and say the media speaks, and you will find stuff. If you can't do it, then I don't know how you found this video, unless like somebody else put it on for you, and you're paralyzed from the neck down, and you have no control over your body, and somebody just put this on and set it in front of you and said, "Watch this."
Kyle, can we do this? If anybody's still watching and you leave a comment, the first person to do it, if you're still watching, we'll send you a Media Speaks sticker. If you actually see this.
I'll send you 2 stickers. I'll send you 2 Media Speaks stickers. Just comment with the word. What should they comment with?
Sam, here you go. Do you like to
just say I'm still watching the video.
First person to comment. Look, we're at the very end of this video, but the first person that sees this part at the end, the first person to comment on our video and say that the reason that they're commenting is this end of the video. What's the password, guys? What's the password?
Hashtag she buy me weed though. That's what you have to say.
Okay.
Hashtag she buy me weed though.
If you comment on this video, hashtag she buy me weed though, we will send you 100 stickers in black and white that say,
"Oh my,
she buy me weed though."
Oh, dear.
Little tagline that says @themediaspeaks.com and give us a shout out. But we'll
there
give you
goes
those
our
stickers to
contest.
pass out. They'll look really cool, and that's the contest.
I'll fund it. All right, guys, I gotta peace out.
Anyone on YouTube does that, it'll happen. I love
It'll
you,
happen.
Kyle, and I love you, Sam. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. You guys are my
See you later.
Valentines.
Happy Valentine's Day, America.
Happy Valentine's Day. V-Day.